Hello guys, welcome to Dearstream English. In this lesson, I want to go over verbs which talk about change. And there's so many verbs which we use to describe change in English that it can be quite overwhelming and confusing. So I want to break it down for you and give you examples as to how you can use all of these verbs. Now there's quite a lot here, so we're going to break it up into two parts. And for part one, these are the verbs we're going to do: adjust, alter, deteriorate, exchange, fade, reduce, renovate, swell, switch, and vary. So hopefully you know some of those. If you don't know all of them, it's okay. We're going to talk about them as we go through the examples. And that's what we're going to do today. We're just looking at examples. So the first one, alter. Moving to the countryside radically altered our lifestyle. So our lifestyle really changed when we moved to the countryside. We say alter. And some people choose to alter their appearance with surgery. Or if you're going to get plastic surgery to change the way that you look, we say alter your appearance. Okay, switch. I think you probably know switch. By switching to a different provider, it can be possible to pay much less for your mobile phone bills. All right, so if you're switching to a phone company, you say switch. I already said it, switch. If you're changing companies, we say you're switching. I chose drama as an extracurricular activity, but switched to photography a few weeks later. Okay, if you're doing one activity, but you want to change to another activity, you can say, I switched activities. Adjust. It can take time to adjust to living in a different country. If you move to a new country, your life is going to change and your mind is going to have to change as well, so you have to adjust. Prices seem low, but when you adjust them to allow for tax, they are considerably higher. Okay, we have prices, but then we adjust them for tax and they are higher. Fade. This is when something goes away slowly. The noise built up rapidly, and then just as quickly, it faded into the distance. As the applause faded, the speaker started talking. In both of these examples, we're talking about noise, which is going away, fading away. And if you don't know, applause is after a show or a speech or a movie, the audience applauds. And when they stop doing this, we say the applause faded. Vary, coming from the word variation, it means that there is a high degree of difference between the outcomes. The amount of tax you pay on a car varies according to the amount of carbon dioxide it emits. Some people pay high tax, some people pay low tax. It varies. People's reactions to the medicine vary a lot, with some people complaining it has no effect at all. Some people have a strong reaction. Some people have no reaction. The reaction varies. Reduce. This is when you try to make something less. Everyone should try to reduce the amount of fat in their diet. Depends what kind of fat. Some fat is good. Some fat is not good. Many companies were forced to reduce their workforce during the recession. Recession is a time when the economy was not good, so the company had to have less employees, reduced their workforce. Economic crises often deteriorate into social unrest. Crises is the plural for crisis, and deteriorate means something is getting worse, to make something worse. So the economic crisis is bad, but then social unrest is even worse. The weather deteriorated rapidly when it started raining and the winds picked up. The weather got worse, right? The weather was pretty bad, but then it got even worse. Swell. Ankles and other joints often swell when people travel by air. Swell, to get bigger. The town is home to 3,000 people, but this figure swelled to 12,000 in that same summer. You can use this to talk about populations too. The population swelled, it got bigger. Exchange. The tokens can be exchanged for food in the student canteen. A token is like a coin, it's like money. You can give it to someone and they'll give you food. It's an exchange. Shops will normally exchange damaged goods if you have the receipt. The receipt is that little piece of paper they give you when you buy something. You give that to them and they'll usually give you money back. Renovate. Businesses in the city center were offered funding so they could renovate their premises. Their premises, that's their location, their office building, where they work, the physical location. So renovate is to change the building, update it, improve the furniture, paint the walls, maybe tear down some of the walls. You want to make it different, make it nicer. In some cases, it can be more expensive to renovate an old building than knock it down and build a new one. Changing the old building is cheaper. It's more expensive than building a new one. Why? I'm not sure exactly. That's kind of confusing. Part 2. I hope that the first part was okay, but we're going to move on to these verbs. Adapt, cut, decline, disappear, expand, improve, promote, relax, replace, transform. How many of these verbs did you already know before watching the video? Let me know in the comments. The first one is replace. Email has largely replaced the traditional letter as a means of written business communication. So replace means when you had something old, but a new thing comes and the new thing replaces, it changes it, takes it over. We don't use the old thing anymore. It has been replaced. The plan is to replace all the old desktop computers in the library with notebooks or netbooks. A netbook is a kind of computer. Adapt. Some companies are slow to adapt to a changing market. Adapt is when you have to change the way that you do business or change your behavior or change your mind. You need to adapt, okay? Courses can be adapted to suit the needs of individual students. So the course was not perfect. It needed to be changed so that the student can learn from it. So we can adapt our business performance. We can adapt our teaching style, our courses. These are some of the ways that you can use adapt. Disappear. The symptoms of illness, that's plural. The symptoms of illnesses like measles aren't usually serious and disappear within a few days. Disappear means go away, it's gone. As the sun disappeared behind the clouds, the temperature quickly dropped. Where's the sun? It's gone, disappeared. Promote. So you have a job right now. If you want to get a better job at the same company, you have to be promoted. A college course can help you find a job or get promoted at work. The Peter Principle is a theory which says that in a big company, everyone eventually gets promoted to a job that is beyond their ability. I've never heard that before. Is that true? Relax. Okay. This means to make something less stressful, less intense, less tight. Make something easier. Some people think that the government should relax the rules regarding building on protected land. For the final part of the exercise, you need to repeatedly tighten, then relax your stomach muscles. So this is tight, this is relaxed. Tight, relaxed. Improve. The government's aim in the next 5 years is to improve educational standards. Improve means to make something better, uplift the standards. The best way of improving your English is to practice using it as much as possible. That's right. So you can improve educational standards, or you can improve English. Expand. This is when something gets a little bit bigger. Water freezes in the pipes, forcing them to expand and burst. The pipe is in your wall where the water runs through to your sink. And if it's cold, it can expand. Britain's universities expanded at an unprecedented rate at the end of the 20th century. Okay, the universities got bigger, expanded. So universities can expand and pipes can expand. A lot of things can expand. You can expand your horizons, your future. Cut means to stop doing something or to make something much smaller. Cut, kind of like scissors, but it's different here because it's talking about money. Supermarkets cut prices on many basic items to attract more customers. So the price used to be high, but now it's lower. It was cut. I believe that governments should increase spending on the arts instead of cutting it. Yeah, they should spend more money. They should not cut the money. Transform. Email and social networking websites have transformed the way people communicate. So transform means to basically just change something into something else. You may have seen the blockbuster Hollywood movie called Transformers, where it's robots, but they can change into cars or airplanes or trucks. So transform is a verb which means to change from one thing to another thing. Decline. Something is going down, getting worse. The number is going down. House prices are so high that the number of people buying their own home has declined in the last 5 years. Because so many people are out of work, living standards are declining rapidly. Yeah, that's right. So housing prices can decline and living standards can decline, among other things, of course. Okay, so a little review. The words that we learned today are as follows: adjust, alter, deteriorate, exchange, fade, reduce, renovate, swell, switch, vary, adapt, cut, decline, disappear, expand, improve, promote, relax, replace, transform. All of these words can be used to describe change. And I hope that you now have a clearer picture as to how to use these words. If you want to practice, you can, first of all, write all the verbs in your notebook. I find writing is very helpful to crystallize things in your memory. Write one sentence using each word. Make your own sentences. Read news articles online and look for how the verbs are being used and why. And finally, incorporate these verbs into your daily spoken English vocabulary. I think that would be very helpful. And you can continue practicing right now because I'm going to show you all of the questions again, the fill in the blanks. that we just went over. And you can see if you can remember the answer and put the verb in the right place, okay? So for the rest of the video, I'm just going to put on some music and allow you to try to use the verb in the right place. So good luck. And try to support the channel too. You can subscribe, comment, or you can like. It's very helpful. All right, good luck. Or I hope you master all of these verbs. Okay, I'll see you next time.
Stories, Mr. Fergal. The ones that really matter. Full of darkness and danger. ones that really matter.